Good afternoon, everyone. We've got Paul Schuler from Broadcom, and he's going to talk about the NetMaster web portal and the software solutions report. If you've got any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat, and we'll get going now.
Thank you for joining me today. My name is Paul Schuler. I'm the product manager for the NetMaster product. And today I'll be presenting session 1P, introducing the NetMaster web portal and the software solutions report. The NetMaster web portal was released about 2 years ago. Our goal is to bring the power of NetMaster's many capabilities into a modern web interface. Since its release, we continue to enhance it with new features and functionality on a regular basis. When you first log into the web portal, you're first presented with our Connections homepage, which is primarily focused on giving you insight into the security of your mainframe network at a glance. This view is provided by default and contains 11 panels, which indicate the number of connections that meet certain security criteria, both right now and over time. For instance, you can see the number of unsecured connections, the number of connections in total that are secured by TLS, and then we break down those into TLS 1.3, 1.2, and 1.1. Each of these panels will display up to 366 days worth of data, and it allows you to do things like analyze any anomalies in your network, such as a high number of unsecure connections on a particular day. You can also see trends of your network security over time. For instance, if one of your goals is to secure all of your network connections via TLS 1.3, you can track your progress towards that goal over time. This provides an easy way to see, at a glance, how you are secured. It is possible to add additional panels based on different criteria. Here, I'm going to add a panel for port 23. I'll add a filter, and that allows me to filter on the local port, and I will select port 23. Once I hit save, the panel is displayed. If you create a unique selection criteria that no other user has ever created before, the display will be blank, such as in this example here. However, it will start to collect the data at this point, and the chart will fill out over time. In this case, at least one other user has been interested in this information, so the data does go back for some period of time. Panels are individual to a user. You can delete the ones that you're not interested in and add others that you are interested in, and it will not affect the experience of others. You can similarly edit existing panels and rename them as you wish. From here, we move on to the connection summary. This is a live view of connections that are on your network currently. You can sort by different criteria. In this case, I'm interested in secured connections. And in this view, which is aggregated by application, the data is consolidated around your defined business applications within NetMaster. You see the total number of connections and how many are unsecured. How many are secured, and again, this lets you see at a glance what specific encryption is in use. You can select other aggregators like localhost, local port, stack, task, and you can also create your own tabs as well. Here again, I could create a port 23 tab. I'll summarize it by local port, and I will choose a filter of local port and choose 23. Save this, and that view is now available. And you can see the connection summarized in the way you need to. Going back to the application view, you can drill down from any link here into a list of connections that fit your filter criteria. These filters can be changed by clicking on the Show Filters button. From here, you can also drill down and see some very detailed information about the connection itself. Here we have the local and remote IP port numbers. We also have indications of how it is secured up here, whether it is using SSL, SSH, or IPsec. We also have data about the number of packets in and out. If it is an ATTLS connection, we tell you the policy name and all of the information that we have about ATTLS. Here is the XERD information we have on this connection. It lets you easily see the very detailed information that XERD is giving us. In the web portal, we take it a step further. Normally what you'd see in the 3270 is a very cryptic cipher name. We break that cipher name down more granularly for you. We show you the TLS version, key exchange algorithm, encryption algorithms, and the hash algorithms. Here we give you a very clear view of whether that connection is considered secure. You can view graphs of any recent activity on the connection in either packets or bytes. There's a lot of information here, and we've tried to make it as easy and readable as possible. The next section of the web portal is the command entry panel. It allows you to issue any ZOS, USS, or NetMaster command and get the response back in real time. You can download the output as a text file in case you need to save it or share it for later diagnosis. Last, but certainly not least, we've been working on releasing NetMaster's Smart Trace functionality to the web portal. Here you can see a list of all the predefined trace definitions. You can start and stop any trace definition from this list. We will soon be releasing the ability to create, view, or edit the TCP and UDP trace types, followed in the future by more trace types, such as the general IPv4 and IPv6 traces, and the ICMP and multi-type trace. Although not yet released, we're close enough that I can show you this new functionality now. I go into a view trace definition, see that it's a TCP trace. You can see the base criteria that have been selected for this trace. You can view if any advanced criteria have been specified for the trace, stop criteria, and the tracing options. From this view, you can start or edit the trace. From the Active Traces tab, you can see actively running traces now. You can see trace definition AAA test 2 is running. We have 3 stacks on the system, so NetMaster started 3 instances. Shows you the number of packets collected. If the trace had stopped, it would show you the end time and when that trace will expire unless you save it. From here, you can view the trace. It will take a snapshot of the trace in progress, so you'll only see the packets collected up to this moment. You can save the trace, and again, that will save a snapshot, or you can download the PCAP file. If you go into a saved trace, you can see a lot of information about the number of packets captured. 250 packets were captured on this trace. The total packets that were captured before that 250 roll-off was 709,000. You can see a lot of information about the trace itself. From here, you can drill down into the list of packets. So this gives an indication of each of the packets, where they came from, where they went to, what the direction was, exact time of day, and the difference in seconds between packets themselves. We give you a summary of the packet as well. If you drill into a packet, you'll see the raw data, both presented in EBCDIC and ASCII as best we can. This is likely encrypted data, so we did the best we could. And then the formatted packet information here. This gives you a lot of information about the IP and TCP headers. Again, from Save Trace, you can view it, you can download it, or you can delete that trace. Downloading the trace to a PCAP file lets you easily save, share, or analyze that packet trace in a tool of your choosing, such as Wireshark. One key item to remember is that all of these capabilities are available via NetMaster's API service directly. Our API service gives you access to the data and capabilities of NetMaster in your own custom-written applications, available from a wide range of platforms and programming languages. You can automate trace capture and collect the data automatically as a result of a security incident or problem ticket. You could stream network data into the business intelligence or reporting tool of your choice. The possibilities are endless. So that is where we stand today with the web portal. Items under consideration for the future are expanding the scope and capability of the graphs on the connections homepage, making them resizable, movable, and giving you more options as to chart types. We're planning on expanding the scope of data available for visualization overall, and we're looking at modernizing NetMaster's Report Center interface to give you access to potentially years of historical network statistics to help you with capacity planning, workload moves, or in identifying trends in your network traffic. Adding the IP growth tracker into the web will allow you to understand the health and activity of your defined business applications. Beyond visualization, we will continue to expand the Smart Trace functionality in the web. New trace types such as multi-TCP traces, IPv4 and IPv6, as well as OSA ENTA traces. We will soon be releasing the capability to kick off a packet trace quickly and easily on a connection via the web portal's connection list panels. We have a lot of ideas, but we really need your input on where we go next and what is useful to you in a modern web UI for NetMaster. Please reach out to us in the Q&A session that follows this presentation and let us know what you like, what you don't like, and what we're missing. I'd like to take the rest of this presentation to discuss a relatively new capability that we are making available to our customers. We call it the NetMaster Software Solutions Report. The Software Solutions Report is focused on helping our customers, specifically the level 2 experts in their fields, do more with less. We know that as more and more of the long-term experts in the mainframe retire, and people who are newer or just new to the mainframe take over the reins, it's hard to comprehend the scope of some of these mainframe products. This year, NetMaster is celebrating its 40th anniversary. During these decades, the product has grown, evolved, and had feature after feature added to it. We know it is very wide, very deep, very powerful, but also very difficult to understand. Mainframe teams are shrinking, and more we are hearing from our customers that they are no longer singly focused. They are network admins and sysprogs, or sysprogs and automation professionals. They are busier, the environments are more complex, and this makes configuration and standardization difficult. We at Broadcom create tools to help you manage your workloads, but the volume of documentation and the volume of code we release can be overwhelming, and this often gets ignored in the noise of your having to support your production environments. This makes it hard for you to understand what tools and what features of the product we've released recently, not to mention the ones that we released years ago. The Software Solutions Report is focused on helping with these challenges. It can help answer the hard questions in an easy fashion. Where is NetMaster installed? What version is it running on? Is that version fully supported? And what are the key features that I should be looking at? The Software Solutions Report can help answer these questions. And by the way, the same capability is available for the SysView and OpsMVS products as well. This is a Broadcom initiative to develop these software solutions reports eventually for all of your critical Broadcom software. We've developed the Software Solutions Report to be both an easy button and a learning tool. It will easily tell you how many NetMaster instances you have, what version and level they're at, and will look through your NetMaster configuration on an LPAR by LPAR basis and tell you when a setting is set in a non-optimal way. This can help you make sure that the product is running optimally, but the Software Solutions Report goes further. It will also look into your usage of the NetMaster product and point out if what we consider to be a key feature is unused in your site. It will tell you how that feature can assist you and give you pointers to where you can learn more. Our main goal with the NetMaster Software Solutions Report is to help you get more value from your investment in Broadcom software. So what is the Software Solutions Report? I can tell you what it is not. It is not something we're trying to sell you. You've already invested in NetMaster, so you are entitled to run the Software Solutions Report as often as you like. It is not yet another software product that you have to install, configure, and maintain. And it will not impact your mainframe costs or impact your system performance because we run the assessment in our managed environment at our cost using our compute resources so that there is minimal impact to you. You simply customize and run a simple batch job which collects data about your NetMaster instances. It outputs the data in a simple human-readable form. We do not collect any sensitive personal or business information, but we realize that you might have a different definition of what is sensitive, so if you don't like something we've collected, you simply redact it. You can then upload that data into our secure environment and we process it into a report, which you can review generally within minutes. Let me walk you through a sample report. When you log into mri.broadcom.com, you use your current support ID and site ID. Once there, you will see a number of different tiles that represent different assessments that MRI provides. In this case, you want to scroll down to the Solutions Assessments and select the NetMaster Software Solutions Report. Just for reference, the OpsMVS and SysView assessments work the same way, so most of the information here is applicable as well to those assessments. Here, MRI shows you the steps necessary to run the assessment. If you click on the Collect Data on your mainframe button, you'll be presented with the batch and script download package. There are detailed instructions for running the NetMaster assessment in TechDocs, but included in the package is a quick reference PDF that gives you everything you need to know. Download the package, customize the JCL, execute it, and the script will create the plain text JSON file that MRI needs. You then come back to mri.broadcom.com and select the Upload Files and then Request Report button. You will not be able to see other customers' data, nor will they have access to yours. You can choose to grant access to your assessment to whoever in your organization that you choose. Once your report is ready, MRI will tell you, and then you can begin reviewing it. For today's demo, I'm going to use a sample report, which is available here under View a Sample Report. The main Software Solutions Report page is made of 4 quadrants. We have News and Information, Feature Usage, Installation Status, and Best Practices Recommendations. The News and Information section gives you a quick, handy links to the release notes, documentation, support, and NetMaster Communities resources. It's a handy way to jump back and forth between the assessment and the resources that will help you learn more. The other quadrants are summaries of the more detailed reports that we will see shortly. For the Feature Usage quadrant, we have identified what we consider to be the 12 most critical features of NetMaster. That is shown here under Unique Features. This assessment was run on 3 systems, so the total features is 36. On those 3 systems, we counted 16 total features in use and 20 which were not in use. You can drill down into the detailed report here by clicking on the View Feature List link. The feature usage details are a sortable, filterable list of the features we track for each of the systems you ran the assessment against. You can filter down this list to a specific system or NetMaster region to make understanding your environment easier. The 12 features we track are automation services, command entry, the data sampling framework, dataset services, historical data, the IP resource monitor, the IP log, resource view, smart trace, connection data, security or encryption data, and region linking. For each feature, we provide the name of the feature, which can easily be added to a search on our TechDocs documentation platform to learn more, a description, which briefly describes the benefit of the feature, and an indication of whether we have detected that feature in use in your customer site. This is a great way to learn more about NetMaster and its capabilities, and to expand your knowledge into how to get the most out of the product. It is quick, easy, and an accessible way to begin to delve into the complexity and power of NetMaster. I'm going to take a minute to point out the Ask an Expert button. If you have questions about the assessment, about NetMaster in general, or about how to potentially apply or follow a best practice, use this link. It sends an email directly to the development team. This does not go to level 1 support. We'd be happy to walk through your assessment with you, to talk to you, and to help you understand how we can help you to get more out of NetMaster. This button is on pretty much the top right of each of the detailed screens and on the main screen. We hope you will use it. Send us a quick note. If it's just a quick question, we'll certainly be happy to respond by email. If it's a little bit more in depth, we'd be happy to work with you to set up a meeting. And going back to the main screen, we move now to the bottom left quadrant. The installation status screen gives you a summary of the versions of NetMaster installed across your environment and an at-a-glance view of whether they are supported, out of support, or if a newer version is available. Drilling into this data again shows you a sortable and filterable table of the NetMaster regions across your enterprise. This sample shows 4 systems, but some of our customers have 200 or more LPARs, and they have found this to be an extremely useful tool to understand how current they are or are not with their NetMaster maintenance. The last quadrant gives a sample of some of the best practices recommendations, the whole list of which can be found by drilling down into the detailed report. This really is, in my opinion, the best part of this assessment. Here again, we see the filterable table with region name, system, sysplex, what the best practices recommendation is, how you are configured today, and at the left, we have an indication of how important we think it is for you to consider implementing that best practice. While on the right is our estimation of how much effort we think it will take to do so. The assessment is actually looking into the internals of NetMaster and its configuration and parameter settings. It makes recommendations on how to configure or use NetMaster in a more secure, efficient, and productive way. It will list best practices around security and users, point out conditions which are occurring which may cause you an issue in the future, ensures that you're cleaning up obsolete data, and helping you make sure that the critical components of NetMaster are enabled appropriately. You can see at a glance if certain conditions are occurring in some of your mainframe systems but not others, pointing to inconsistencies in configuration that can save you time and effort to resolve. Note that we do not list best practices which you are following. So over time, as you implement the best practices, this list will shrink and potentially even go down to 0 items. It's a great way to track progress, and we hope you find it a useful tool. The list can be rather large, so our recommendation is to filter the list down to a single sysplex or even a set of systems and start small. Pick high value, low effort items that will give you the biggest bang for your buck. I also recommend that you run this periodically, both to track your progress and because we periodically release new versions of the Software Solutions Report that will give you new insights and best practices suggestions. It is also a good idea to run this after applying maintenance or installing a new version as a post-install checklist. We are currently working on some enhancements to all three of the software solution reports. The NetMaster, OpsMBS, and SysView teams are collaborating on developing a more automated way to run a software solutions report. We are also looking at ways that customers might be able to more easily collect and upload the data to the Broadcom service. NetMaster is adding additional features to its feature list, as well as some new best practices. And the OpsMBS team is looking at making significant enhancements to their feature usage reports, as well as adding in more health check focused best practice recommendations to help you ensure you keep your environment running at its best. In summary, the web portal, the API service, and the software solutions reports are powerful, modern tools that help you to navigate the complexity with the NetMaster network management tool. The web portal makes NetMaster more approachable for new employees, as well as providing powerful diagnostic data and tools in a modern visual format so that you can clearly see what's going on in your network and troubleshoot any issues quickly. The API service allows you to access the rich data and tooling that NetMaster provides in your own custom-written business applications, as well as reporting tools, business intelligence tools, orchestration, or problem and incident management tools. This allows you to automate your incident and problem data collection and allows reporting from anywhere in your enterprise, whether it's on Z or not. And the software solutions report gives you the tools to understand at a glance how your software is being maintained, used, and configured across your enterprise, as well as showing you the value that you may be leaving on the table due to configuration issues or underutilization of NetMaster's powerful feature set. Broadcom is committed to the future of NetMaster. All three of these capabilities are actively being developed, improved, and expanded as we speak with input from our customers. NetMaster itself is changing with the times, modernizing, and becoming easier to use and more powerful with every feature we release. We hope you'll join us and partner with us so that we can work together to solve the real-world business problems you face every day. Thank you. Again, my name is Paul Schuler. I hope you found this presentation helpful and useful. I will be available after the session to answer any questions you may have.
Thanks for that, Paul. If you've got any questions, can you please put them in the chat box, or I have allowed you to unmute your lines. So if you want to ask a question, feel free. Okay, nobody's got any questions. We'll end the session now. Thank you very much, Paul, for your time and your presentation.
No worries, now glad to do it.